Welcome back, everybody, to the Silent Hill Ascension post show. Eduardo, joined here by Noah. And if you're a fan of monsters, we really hope you got to enjoy those scenes.
I sure did. I love monsters, and they were creepy. And I really love like the Velociraptor type monster that we saw in Norway. Because when I was a kid, obviously, as a lot of people my age, I was terrified of velociraptors.
I wonder
why.
What people of our age group as a kid would have possibly watched that would have made us terrified of Velociraptor. I can't phantom. I can't.
I don't know, but it has it strikes a unique chord in my fear mechanism, and that was creepy. And also, I love how, Krista was gonna reveal some stuff, and then like we broke away into this monster situation. I wonder what that means.
well, how about we take a closer look at that scene, right? So our production team's gonna throw it up. This was the video that premiered today. It's where Krista's confronting Eric in the laundromat. After the toast at the bar, she's like, that's quite a show you put on. And then they're just, as you mentioned, just put into the other world. They're with the monsters. So that video is going to play for you here. And let's look at it a little bit here, Noah. So as you were saying here, we're setting up the scene. We got essentially Eric in the laundromat. Everything's normal, no problem. But things go a little bit wrong quite quickly.
Right. And by the way, how do you think the drink, I guess the drink was benign, right? Nothing happened in the drink, and we're just doing our laundry, minding our own business, running into Krista, and, suddenly getting pulled into another world, or the other world, some world that is horrifying. And I don't know, like, I feel like Eric... so far we pitied a lot Toby. We were focusing our pities on our boy Toby. Rest in peace. The hat is for him today. But now we can divert our pity to Eric, I think, because what did he do wrong? What did he do to deserve his daughter going missing, his best friend dying, and then when he has almost maybe a moment with some hot chick, all of a sudden getting pulled and getting devoured or something by a monster, which apparently is gonna, I don't know, that was creepy.
No, and that's the thing. You don't get to see as an audience right away the result of that. You're gonna have to wait. I don't actually know when you're gonna get a resolution to that, but you're gonna have to wait to see what happened there, right? The typical horror thing. The monster swoops in, fade to black, enjoy. It's
right.
It's probably not like a pretty harsh treat for our audience here, but we hope you still like seeing the monsters taking action. As Owen mentions, what did poor Eric do to deserve this? We're not sure, but he's gonna have to deal with it. And I am liking seeing Eric come into his own and becoming his own character.
Yeah, he's kind of like turning up the sex appeal here. I don't know. He's like getting into his how we have all these millions of movies about people losing their daughter and stuff, and they have to I gotta avenge my daughter. And he's going into that phase. He's like a Keanu Reeves hottie phase of he has to avenge his daughter being missing or something.
Yeah. and if you too want to star in essentially, be that person, be in the show. Actually, no, we're lying. You're probably going to just die horribly. But if you want to be in our show and die horribly, cameo contest exists. So that's going to be on screen. No, if you can walk us through it.
Dude, who doesn't want to die horribly on Silent Hill? Because y'all can be an extra in Silent Hill Ascension, and you can take part in the cameo contests regularly. And cameo contests are entered with influence points, which, as you know, you collect with the indoor streams and the puzzles. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing, right? It's an important part of the experiences. I again want to mention the highlight performance of BioGeek 93 from 2 days ago, because it was really, really good. Functionally, to be that, you have to kind of win that cameo contest. It's entered again with influence points. Now, the reason we're talking about it is the current one's closing soon. So if you wanted to get into that, now's the time. But again, they come up regularly, so don't feel like you missed your shot. If you're not doing tonight, you'll get to do other nights in the future. So again, just mention it. But for now, Noah you mentioned puzzles and Endure streams, and there's a really big reason for that. It's because Noah had a chance yesterday to sit down and spend some time with Natalie Odien, our design director, catch her kind of in her little artist area, and essentially you'll see it. It's a really nice and cozy area. I really liked seeing that interview. I'm sure Noah you had a great delight doing it. But for now, I'm gonna let our audience, you at home, enjoy that interview. So we'll be right after that. But in the meantime, enjoy Noah and Natalie Odien.
We have here the wonderful Natalie Odien. And Natalie, thank you so much for being with us here today. Could you please introduce your role in Silent Hill Ascension?
Of course, I am so happy to be here. I am the design director here at Genvid, so I use gameplay, user psychology, and we design and prototype game mechanics, systems, and rules. So we work with other awesome members of our team to develop these, and once they're created, we are constantly refining and fine-tuning the experience.
Right. So that's a little bit more about what your role is as a designer is, because some of the folks may not be familiar how it plays in this specific series. So what does your team work on for Silent Hill Ascension, more specifically?
So our team works on the systems of Ascension, like the Hope system. And we are also very involved in the Endure experience and the arcane and mindfulness puzzles.
I love those puzzles. If y'all are watching the show, you know I do like me some puzzles. And we are going to talk more about the puzzles in a little bit. But what most excites you about working on Silent Hill Ascension? It's a bit of a unique project.
It's very unique. It's like nothing I've worked on before. So, I would say the variety of puzzles has been very challenging, but fun, right? We want to take all these completely different game types, make them fit into the world of Ascension as well. And just being able to go from different gaming types. So 1 minute I'm wearing my musician hat because I'm working on guitar. And then the next minute I'm designing a level for Hashi, which is a numbers-based game. So it's great, having that variety.
Yeah, so variety is one of the key things we have here. And by the way, we've seen changes to the Endure streams in the last few days. And thank you so much, audience, for the feedback on that. We hear you and we are listening. So can you tell us more, Natalie, about the thinking behind the design and the updates?
Yeah, so agree with Noah. We love the feedback. Please keep it coming. Game designers are all about taking that feedback and actioning on them. So we really appreciate it. We've been polishing the QuickTime events in the Endures. As you've seen, we've shortened the overall length due to user feedback. And we've also been constantly balancing. So we want to keep the Endure experience fair, but also suspenseful. It should feel suspenseful for people who are just watching. So will they or won't they? Will they get good hope or will they get bad hope? So if the Endures have a lot of effect on the hope, and we want it to feel like, oh no, are they gonna get out of this one or not? So we've been trying to keep that balance for the scoring. One interesting thing is when we first launched, the scoring was too difficult. The Endures were being failed a lot. So we pulled back a little bit, and then we've gradually tightened it back up, and now we are back to that original scoring, and the community has been passing that fairly regularly. So I have to give props to everybody for constantly improving and keeping us on our toes.
Right, and it's fun. It's funny because it's a lot about timing, right? So not just the timing of the clicking, but also the timing of when you present it, right? So people now are more familiar and they know better how to interact with it. So now when you increase it to where it originally was and people were failing, and now they're passing the same thing. So, practice makes perfect. And this is very
Absolutely.
encouraging, very encouraging indeed. So speaking of nailing things, could you tell us the secret to winning all the puzzles?
Okay, nice try. So
Next time I'll try again. Okay.
so you may know there's no one-stop solution to all the puzzles because they are such different experiences. That's partially why I love them so much. Like I myself am really good at some puzzles and bad at some other ones. So they're all very different in their ways. But I would say when in doubt, always review the rules. In the puzzles, they all have an info button within the puzzle, and you can always click on that like while you're playing the game. So you don't have to leave the game. You can click on that while you're playing and see what the rule set is. So for example, for Lockbox, it's a very strategic game, but you have to know what all those different blade types do. And the only way to know that is to review those rules and make sure you learn. And once you actually learn what all of them do, like it's just a very quick strategic mind puzzle.
Right. I don't know. Do you know the abbreviation RTFM? A lot of people use it in sound productions. It's read the effing manual. And I used to get it yelled at me a lot because I do tend to just build things and then be like, oh, yeah. So don't be me. Read those rules and succeed. So speaking of the puzzles, do you have a favorite one?
Okay, that's a tough one. I have a couple favorites.
I know, so it's like difficult.
They are. You're making me choose, but I'm pretty proud of Lockbox, which I was just talking about. So that was created by our game designer Edwin. It was inspired by the valve puzzle in Silent Hill. You know, where you're turning the valves and the spikes are moving. So the idea was inspired by that, but the game mechanics themselves are completely original. It's a completely original puzzle game. And it really requires you to think strategically. So that's why I like that one. I also really like Buried Memories because that was inspired by those cryptic clues that you always find yourself deciphering in Silent Hill games. You're like reading this and you're like, what does this mean? And you eventually have to apply that to something. So I like that one as well. And then lastly, I'm a big fan of Guitar because I could just sit around and like jam on it for hours. It's a lot of fun.
Right. So, and many of our users have said that they love the Guitar Mindfulness puzzle. So what inspired it?
So I'm in a band actually, and it's a lot of fun just like sitting around and jamming with each other, you know, just like no real agenda in mind, just playing along to each other. And we really took inspiration from that feeling. So you'll see that the notes in guitar, they don't mimic the song exactly all the time. They're designed to complement the song. And the entire puzzle is designed for you to jam. So we don't enforce like strict timing or strict note orders like you do in other rhythm games. We want you to just be able to play whatever you want. We don't play like wrong note sounds. If you're playing a wrong note, or give you even wrong feedback when you play other notes, because we want you to be able to play anything you want. And it's been so great, like seeing people jamming along to that, and it's a lot of fun. If you want to like show our prototype for a minute, our game designer Edwin made that. It was to help really sell that idea of jamming to people when we were first trying to create the game.
That's so awesome. And we have such amazing audio talent on our team here.
Yes. So, being able to use the music of Akira Yamaoka, that really elevates the game. But we also have original music from our own product from Ascension, from Neko Face. And we also have an amazing audio team who not only transcribed all of these songs for us, but they also designed those notes that you see on the screen. So everyone can sound good regardless of their musical expertise.
Right, and it kind of reminds me of why I personally play bass. It's kind of like, no matter how bad I screw it up, it still sounds okay. It's not like guitar where you actually need to know what you're doing. By the way, what do you play, Natalie?
I play violin and keyboard.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you up afterwards and we gotta start a band.
We can make a band.
An additional band to your main band. I'll be your side band.
We always need bassists.
Okay, great. And okay, if there's one thing that you could share with the community, with our lovely community, what would it be?
It would be play those mindfulness puzzles. So like only endures and mindfulness contribute to hope. So it's really important that you be playing those and you're always contributing. I encourage everyone, if you don't get 3 stars the first time, to try again, because it's your highest score that's counted towards the community average. So whatever your highest score on the game is, that is the one that's taken and contributes to the community performance. So, if you want, you can always do it again and try to get a better score than last time.
Right, and this is really a really good way to impact hope, as you said. So make sure you keep playing this. And what was the thing you've enjoyed most seeing with the community's response to these puzzles?
So I love seeing the community come together to work together. Like there is a real sense of camaraderie here. Like everyone's pitching in to contribute to that hope for those mindfulness puzzles. And I see people working together. So I've seen online people like, oh, what do you think of this clue on buried memories? Or how did you solve this one? And I think that's so great. Like, one of my hobbies is I like to do escape rooms with my friends. And I feel like this evokes a similar sense of camaraderie, like working together to figure out those clues. So I think it's great. And I think that's what the product is about.
Love that, Natalie. Thank you so much for your time and talent and all your contributions to Silent Hill Ascension.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome back, everybody. We really hope that you enjoyed that interview between Noah and Natalie Odien, our design director. And one of the big things for me about that interview, by the way, Noah, was that Natalie and her team really think about the interactive portion of Silent Hill Ascension. And that's quite a challenge because fundamentally, Silent Hill Ascension is a horror show. So having to think about interactivity within the context of a horror show, and that the audience is picking the outcomes based on kind of those endure streams and those puzzles, that's really a challenge that her team are doing. So that was like really my striking moment. But Noah, was there something from that interview that you particularly like was really strong for you?
Well, to be completely honest, I was really excited about the prospect of Natalie and I starting a band. And guess what? I'm gonna name that band. There are 3 options.
Oh. No. Let me guess. Redemption, suffering, and or damnation. Yeah,
right now today I'm kind of feeling like the band's gonna be Suffering. It's like gonna be the Suffering Girls or something. I don't know. But I always was kind of into domination as well. But like, imagine like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check out Suffering in the weekend.
You're just already thinking ahead about all the people that are coming to visit your band. But no, that it was really nice that we saw the guitar in Natalie's background as well. So that was a really good thing. I'm glad you found a way to kind of build the side band as you spoke about it. So I'll leave you to that.
This is my chance. Finally, I see an opportunity and I seize it.
That's totally fair.
By the way, we're close to the end of the show.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. We're at the end of the show, and I know that's because you need to build up the side band. I don't want to hold you, Noah.
I have practice. Have band practice.
Of course. And I don't want to hold our audience too much either, because, after this, you'll get to enjoy the puzzles that we have on display for you. And as well, we want you to enjoy your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are across the world. Now, that's it. What happened so far? You saw a lot of monsters in the scenes today. It's kind of starting to be that blend between the human and the monsters. The children are missing. Again, Toby's dead. We've gone through that a lot. But now Eric is kind of coming a little bit more center stage, kind of being themselves. So really a build up as we see, monsters, fog, all of those elements of a classic horror show and Silent Hill is starting to blend in. Now, really wanted to thank Natalie for her time speaking with Noah. I hope you all enjoyed that interview. Again, stick around after we're done to essentially you can do the puzzles at any time, but we recommend that. Now, for our next show, again, if you haven't had a chance to get a reminder, our shows now are not every day. They take place weekdays. So that's Monday to Friday. So our next show will be next Monday. So essentially, again, 5:40 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Pacific is when we have the primary show. So for people, if you want to hear people like Noah and myself chat, you'll want to come on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday a bit early and stick around. But we will, rain, shine, or fog, always have the show each weekday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope you have a great time. Again, wherever you are across the world, this was Eduardo and Noah saying bye.